All right, Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles, Great Millstone. And such as you brothers doing this thing in sincerity and truth, then with charity. And I ain't gonna hop right into it, man. Genesis, the first chapter. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. All right, and I just wanted to read it like that first before I go into it. I usually say the Most High or whatever, but this says God. When you go into the Hebrew, the word is Elohim, which is why I didn't say the Most High right there, because Elohim, which of course the Most High, made everything in general, right? But this says Elohim, and we know Yam at the end is plural, and it tells you rulers. It says plural at right here, all right, and of course gods. Okay, and it comes from. This says prolong, so we go straight to it. Allah, which means God, mighty one. Okay, so I'm read Genesis 1. In the beginning, the powers or the gods created the heaven and the earth. All right, and we have Genesis 1. All right, 26. And the power said, "Let us make man our image." So this is the powers executing the command of Yahweh, starting with Yahweh Shai. Let's grab this Colossians. Or was it Galatians? I feel like I always mix them up. This is Colossians 1 and 14. In whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins, who was the image of the invisible power, the firstborn of every creature. For by him are all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible. All right? So we know, at least right now, we know Yahweh Shai is here in this beginning that we're speaking of in Genesis, the first chapter. That first verse. All right, so we know collectively that Yahweh is working through Yahweh Shai to do this. All right, the powers. But let's throw this in there too. Hebrews. I'm gonna do it like this. Hate they change this app up, bro. This be so clean. Yeah, that's why. Cause I'm going. It's First John. Flesh. First John 1 and 1. That which is from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon, and our hands have handled of the word of life. And the Lord spoke, and these things were made in the beginning. All right, how? He gave the blueprint to Yahweh Shai. All right, which Yahweh Shai spirit goes through all things. And Yahweh Shai and the angels made everything, man. Which the elect, the prophets were there. The prophets are referred to as angels as well, man. That's in Second Maccabees, really the first chapter. It says Malachi was also an angel. But nevertheless, so this is who made creation that we see. All right, Genesis 1 and 1. In the beginning, the powers created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the spirit of the powers moved upon the face of the waters. What waters? That's what you call space is water. All right, that's why it's referred to as the heaven. The word heaven means shemayim. Well, the word heaven is in Hebrew is shemayim, which means pertaining to waters. All right. this is going off. Because the word Sha means pertain. The prefix Sha means pertaining to, and Mayim means water. Wow, they're going off. But we can prove it right here. In fact, we just keep going. Shoot. No, let me jump down. All right, this is verse 6. And the power said, let there be a firm in the midst of the waters, that it divide the waters from the waters. What? It means water underneath and water above. So the heavens is water, but let's get the word for waters right here. It's Mayim. Like, Esau's so fucking weak. All right. So Genesis 1 and 3. And the power said, let there be light, and there was light. And the power saw the light, that it was good, and the powers divided the light from the darkness. All right? So this isn't talking about the sun and moon being made. For lack of a better term, this is talking about the elements being activated. That's the phrase we use. The elements being activated. All right? And Esau's science is now caught up to what's here in Genesis, the first chapter. All right? Because now they understand that everything has energy. That's where the whole E equals MC squared comes from. Everything has energy. All right? The smallest part of it all has energy. Okay? So, let's get this wisdom of Solomon, which energy equals light, fire. You know, that's energy. All right? Let's grab this wisdom of Solomon. Oh, well, I went to the wrong chapter. This wisdom of Solomon 7. 22. For wisdom, which the work of all things, taught me, for in her is an understanding spirit, holy, one only, manifold, subtle, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt, loving a thing that is good, quick, which cannot be letted, ready to do good, kind to man, steadfast, sure, free from care, having all power, overseeing all things, and going through all understanding, pure and most subtle spirits. Here we go. For wisdom is more moving than emotion. She passes and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. All right, so wisdom, nothing is made without wisdom. I mean, we want to get real with you. Yahushua is wisdom. All right, and his spirit goes through all things. We're going to come back to this 25. For she is the breath of the power of the Most High, and a pure influence, flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore, can no defiled thing fall into her. Here we go. For she is the brightness of the everlasting light. All right. So there has to be, for creation to have happened, wisdom had to flow through everything. This bright light had to go through all things, man. So elements activated. That's the light. Okay. Everything has the. Hey, this is This is Acts 17. And we read the Colossians, for nothing is made without Yahushua. That's that wisdom, his spirit is in all things. This Acts 17 and 28. For in him we live and move and have our being, as certain also of your own poets have said. So the spirit of the Lord is in all things, man. Nothing exists without Yahushua. So the elements had to be activated, that wisdom had to be, it had to flow through it. That brightness, that light. You know? Just real quick. Mass, energy, equivalence, famous express equals MC squared. Now this is, well, I just read it. It's a fundamental principle in physics stating that energy and mass are interchangeable and are different forms of the same thing. All right. The equation shows that a change in energy of a system is accompanied by a corresponding change in its mass value. Blah, blah. So the point is, energy is in everything, man. All right. Now, this is one level of putting it, because then you look into it, you have protons and neutrons. So you have this energy that's inside the elements, man. And science knows that. All right. A proton is a stable subatomic particle, symbol HH1, with a positive electric charge. Hold on. Proton is a stable subatomic particle, symbol with a positive electric charge. Its mass is slightly less than the mass of a neutron and approximately the mass of an electron. All right. Right, electron. Is a subatomic particle with the -1 elementary electric charge. It is a fundamental particle that comprises the ordinary matter that makes up the universe. The ordinary matter that makes up the universe, along with up and down marks. Electrons are lightweight, positively charged nucleus of atoms. Their negative charge is balanced by the positive charge of protons. So the elements is activated. The science is catching up to it, but the scriptures already told us, let there be light. So protons, electrons, here we go. All right. The spirit of the Lord is in all things. Wisdom is in all things. That light, that fire, that spirit is in all things. That's let there be light. All right. And God said, and the power said, let there be light, and there was light. And the power saw the light, that it was good. So now we seeing the elements, like I said, we handled these things. So now the angels is looking at this and like, this is good. Look, for just to put in man's terms, not saying literal. Oh, protons and electrons. Oh, look, now we have this and this element. That okay, boom. And the power saw the light, that it was good, and the powers divided the light from the darkness. And the powers called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. Now keep this in mind, man. All right. The sun and moon ain't made yet, so don't get simple. This is oh, okay, that's what I'm saying. Psalm 78:1. Give ear, of my people, to my law, Mashil of Asaph. Give ear, of my people, to my law, and incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old. So the scriptures, they have dark sayings. All right, and the only way to understand dark sayings is to use, as they say, like the map key or the code cracker, which is the precept upon precept. So if the sun and moon ain't made yet, we know it's not talking about an actual full regular human day. So what is it going into? You wouldn't track time in the heavens like we track time on earth, because time don't even exist yet, really. So let's get what it means by that. It's just one full cycle. They just put it in terms that we're used to. Even in one of those first days, just saying it was a full cycle. So this is 2 Peter 3:8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. So it's just telling us about the full cycle. Psalms 90:4. For 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday, when it is past, and as a watch in the night. So as the watch in the night, that's one day. And he called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. So it's one full cycle. 1,000 year period. All right, now the light was still called day and darkness night, but that's not talking about morning and noon. That's just what the light was called. Morning don't get set up until in the future. Oh, it says a day, time, year, so it just means time because it says it could be a year. That's raw. Let's see what it say for night. As opposed to day, just a season. It says season right here 3 times used. A twist away from light. So it's a full cycle. That's all it's saying, man. Which 1,000 years. Verse 6. And the power said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. So you have your different layers in earth that separate the earth's atmosphere. All right. And then you got space. All right. And then underneath that, you have the sky that we know, like the clouds. And then earth. All right. Now, how the layers, all that, Esau say this layer, ozone, all these different layers, I don't know. Lord knows. But we know there's a firmament. So we have the sky. All right. And then after the sky, we got outer space. Underneath the sky, we got earth. All right. We got the sky. In the middle, we got outer space. Above, earth underneath. That sky is referred to as the firmament. Okay? And firmament is Strong's H7549. Raquai. All right, extended service, expands. Firmament, a vault of heaven supporting waters above. All right. So Lord knows the layers though, but essentially, to simplify it, we got the sky, which is a physical thing. All right, you got whatever layer, however the Lord got it set up, whether just the sky, extra layers, as Esau say, it's all connected, whatever. Firmament, separating the waters from the heaven, from the waters underneath. All right. So we got the sky, and then we got what's above the sky, which the sky is the firmament. Esau lists a lot of layers, but Lord knows, man. Either way, it's the firmament. Okay? Verse 7. And the powers made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And the powers called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And the power said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together in one place, and let the dry land appear, and it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together the waters called he seas. And the power saw that it was good. We rocking with everything. The plan is like, damn, okay. The Lord, of course, it's the Lord. And the power said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so. And the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after his kind, and a tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind, and the power saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. And the power said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. Now let's see, is this the same word for firmament right here? Firmament. And it is. All right. This is tough. A visible arch of the sky, which, nevertheless, it's talking about the heavens, man. Which means pertaining to water. And what's those lights? And let them be, verse 15, let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. So the sun and the moon both have their own light. And the powers made two great lights. The greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And those things are lights. So the moon has his own light. And the powers set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And the power saw that it was good. This is tough, man. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And the power said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that had life. So the fifth day is when animals were created. And power said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that had life. All creatures. And fowl that may fly above the earth and the open firmament of heaven. Okay? And the powers created great whales, and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly, after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind, and the power saw that it was good. So all things, creatures that move, was created right here, man. Okay? All creatures that there we go, man. And and the powers blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply on earth. And the evening and morning were the fifth day. So let's grab the second Esdras, because I made a statement, man, and I want to prove it. Man was made on the fifth day. But the sixth day is when we got our commandment that we're going to dwell on the earth. That's what we're going to reproduce as on the earth. So this is 2 Esdras 6 and 47. Upon the fifth day thou saidst, we'll start here. Upon the fifth day thou saidst to the seventh part, when the waters were gathered, that it should bring forth the living creatures. For living creatures, fowls, and fishes. And so it came to pass. For the dumb water without life brought forth living things at the commandment of the power, that all people might praise thy wondrous works. Then didst thou ordain two living creatures, the one thou calledest Enoch, and the other Leviathan. So let's grab this word for Leviathan. Let's start here. Now we know Leviathan is an actual creature, just like let's do this. Just like cattle, this is a cow. Oh, it's a general term. Wow, cows versus specimen. Okay. Bovine. When we think of fucking cows, we really just saying bovine. It's like saying a dog and a canine. You know what the fuck I'm saying. So a bovine. All right. So a cattle is an actual creature. It's a bovine. A fucking cow, god damn it. All right. But cattle let's do this. Cattle also just it means wild beast. All right, we're gonna come back to that. So, like Leviathan, that's an actual animal. That's an animal. Like cattle is an animal, but it also represents uh uh it's a generic term meaning just all wild animals, right? Same thing with Leviathan. It's like whale. All right, so hold on. Let's do this. Let's do Leviathan. Let's do this. Let's do whale first, man. Since I said that. Spirit code. Here's a great fish right here. Dog. Oh, okay. I guess I do need to do it in. Oh shoot. Let's do it here and we'll check the Matthew, Lord willing. Tough. So we know a whale is a fucking animal. But also it just means sea monster. A generic term for just sea monsters. Which could include these different serpents. Like what's the anaconda? They be in the water a lot. And then it means monster. Say it can be even a land monster. Damn. That's tough. All right, so we do have these things that are actual individual animal, but they also represent a multitude of animals, man. Just a generic term. And right here it says sea monster, and there you go, sea monster, huge fish. So we have whales, that's real, but also it just can be generic for huge fish or sea monster. So same thing for Leviathan. The Leviathan is a specific creature, but also it represents water creatures. This is Psalm 104:26. There go the ships, there is that Leviathan whom thou hast made to play therein. So this is Leviathan. See, Salakis. I didn't even yeah, so Leviathan. All right, which means sea monster, large aquatic animal. Okay? And then it also does represent a specific animal. All right? That's tough. So, let's read this address over. Then didst thou ordain two living creatures, the one thou callest Enoch, the other Leviathan, and did separate the one from the other. For the seventh part, namely where the water was gathered together, might not hold them both. Unto Enoch thou gavest one part which was dried up the third day, he should dwell in the same part wherein are 1,000 hills. But unto Leviathan thou gavest the seventh part, namely the moist, and has kept him to be devoured, of whom thou wilt and win. So clearly Leviathan got the waters. That's where the sea monsters dwell at. The sea creatures. That's Leviathan. So that represents the creature that stayed in the water. But then it tells there's a creature, all right, that although it came out the water, was separated to dwell on land. So this is important. The Apocrypha is important to get the understanding of the Bible. Because otherwise we would read it and we get to the sixth day, we would think land animals was made that day. Humans was made that day. No, we started in the waters, and then we got assigned to the land. And on the sixth day, we was told this is where we'll be born from now on. We won't have to start off in the seas. All right? We won't have to start off in the seas, but we still start off from water. But I'm jumping the gun. So let's get this word for Enoch. There's two things I want to do. For one, I want to get Enoch. Oh, yeah. I want to get Enoch. I want to get Enoch, right? So let's look the word up. Chanawak, which means dedicated. All right, it means dedicated to train. And when you train something, that means what? Learn, taught. So learned man or trained man. That's what this means. All right, something taught. This is so you have to have a level. So this talking about man. All right, to train up. Also, make experienced. All right. So learned man. Accustomed. Perceive. Understand. All right. So man was separated here. Now, take note at the characters. Well, let's leave it there for now. All right. So I ended up. That's the breakdown, right? That's how we talk. Let me read this Psalms first. It's Psalms 12, because that's always think 12. This Psalms 12 and 6. The words of the Lord are pure words, as silver tried in the furnace of earth purified 7 times. Now I'm going to go into another translation of the second Esdras. I'm not changing the doctrine. That's why I read that Psalms, because it's the same. The point is proven. Let me read this. So, in this version of 2nd Esdras 649, because we got to be prepared. Scoffers going to come, well, what about this and say that? Y'all wrong. Nope. Then you kept in existence 2 living creatures that you created, the one you call Behemoth and the name of the other Leviathan. So let's say Behemoth goes here. All right? Let's say Behemoth is supposed to be there, right? The Lord so raw. And you know what? Let's say it does, because you read verse 51, it says what? Unto Enoch. So let's say Behemoth. Unto Behemoth thou gave us one part, which was dried up the 3rd day, that he should dwell in the same part wherein are 1,000 hills. Now there is a precept that sounds like that, man. Psalms 50. The Lord so raw, bro. His word is purified, so perfect. And it's how you know our elders got the truth. Because the truth is the truth no matter what. So Psalms 50 and 10. For every beast of the forest is mine, and the cattle upon 1,000 hills. What did it say? And he should dwell in the same part wherein are 1,000 hills. So let's say, okay, so it says Behemoth. The word for cattle is what? Behemoth. Which means beast, cattle, animal. Beast. Call of all animals. All right? All animals. So let's look up okay, BEHE. They're talking about some all right. It says the plural H929, which is what? What we just read. So even if it says Behemoth or Enoch, it's still saying the same thing. The Lord made sea creatures, fowls, and land creatures, including animals, because humans are referred to as animals plenty of times, as beasts plenty of times. We're called the sheep of the Lord, all right, which is cattle, all right. King David said, Psalm 73:22. So foolish was I and ignorant, I was as a beast before thee, all right. Man's referred to as beast plenty of times. Uh, Plenty of times man's referred to as beast, cattle, flocks. Uh, uh, all type of animals, birds, and we refer to as birds, everything. So it still would mean the same thing. The Genesis, the first chapter, when it's going into the fifth day, just the second just proven, it's showing all creatures was made that day. And then the Lord came from the waters, and the Lord separated what was going to stay in the water, and what was going to come on land to be able to dwell on land in the land. All right? And what was going to fly like birds. And on the sixth day is when the Lord gave the commandment that we would stay on land. We wouldn't have to be born from the seas, then come to land anymore. But it's so wrong, we still come from water. This is Second Ezra 7. Let's see. Second Ezra 8. Verse 7. For thou art alone, and we all one workmanship of thine hands, like as thou hast said. For when the body is fashioned out in the mother's womb, and thou givest it members, thy creatures preserved in fire and water, and 9 months. Wait, thy creatures preserved in fire and water. The fire represents the spirit, and the water is the water. That's when a baby is in water the whole time. Then we come out and we breathe. The Lord so raw. We still born from the waters. And 9 months doth thy workmanship endure thy creature which is created in her. All right, now, that's that, man. I mean, don't get no plainer than that. So we go back to 206. So either way, it works. Either way, whether the point remains the same. There was water creatures and land creatures made on the fifth day in the waters, then separated. And then verse 53, upon the sixth day thou gavest commandments to the earth that before thee it should bring forth beasts, cattle, and creeping things. Now when we reproduce, we would be born on earth. We wouldn't have to go to the waters. Like certain fish and animals, they take journeys to be born in certain places. Salmon swim upstream. All right, you got certain birds that fly back north they fly north to mate, leave the babies there, and the babies got to fly back south. So the Lord could have made it where we had to go into the waters to mate, be born in the waters, and then come back on land. But no, he gave a commandment that the earth should bring forth the cattle, the behemoth. All right, bring forth the Enoch, the learned man, these creatures. Upon the sixth day thou gavest commandment to the earth that before thee it should bring forth beasts, cattle, and creeping things. All right? So that's what happened on the sixth day. The commandment was established that we would be born on land. The fifth day, we was in the water. Then the Lord separated what's going to be in the waters and the waters. What would be the land and the land. All right? And then, of course, the fowls. Genesis 1 and I feel like I skipped verse 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night. Let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. At least the point that that's how we track time. All right, the sun tracks the days. So I had the sundial. And the moon, for its namesake, tracked the months. So that's how we know our days, our months, our years. Okay? The word moon means month. That's why a full moon cycle from new moon, all right, to new moon to, let me make sure I say this right. Right, new moon to half moon, that's a week. Half moon to full moon, that's a week. Full moon back down to half moon, that's a week. Then that half moon back down to new moon completes a 4-week cycle, aka a month. That's why a woman's period is referred to. Some people say moon cycle, some say month cycle, because it means the same. That's how you track time. Okay, but let's jump back down to where we're at. Genesis 1 and 21. And God created whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And the powers blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. And evening and the morning were the 5th day. And the powers said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping things, and beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so. So we just read that was the establishment of where we would be born at now. And the Most High and the powers made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And the powers saw that it was good. And the powers said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. At this point, man was beast-like. What's happening here is the Lord is giving us dominion and giving all mankind dominion and a level of wisdom. And I say a level of wisdom because Israel has true wisdom. See, regular man understands, as I believe as Ecclesiastes puts it, if you got a dull knife, it takes more force, all right, to cut something. Well, let me do it like this. Let me read it. Blunt. Ecclesiastes 10 and 10. If the iron be blunt and he doth not wet the edge, then must he put them to more strength. But wisdom is profitable to direct. So every man knows that, well, if I got this blunt sword, you can either work harder and put more force or use wisdom to sharpen it. Mankind has that level of wisdom to where they can problem solve, at least, okay? And that's just simplifying it. All right? So that's what's happening here. Man is getting a level of wisdom and being placed above beast. So let's grab, now we're going back to the wisdom of Solomon. As promised, looking at this wisdom of Solomon 7 and 26. For she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of the Most High, and the image of his goodness. So all men got a level of wisdom at that point. That's part of the image, and that's what places us above animals. Can a crow take a twig and get a course? That's called survival and instincts. We have wisdom. We can problem solve. We can make cars. All right. We can come up with cell phones. Even the base human interaction, they can guess at one another's thoughts and feelings. So, well, they don't like that. They offend. Let me not be like this. We understand social cues. All right, unless you're all autistic. All right, and that's a degeneracy, man. All right. So we got that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This chapter, Sirach 17, and verse 1. The Lord created man of the earth and turned him into it again. He gave them few days and a short time, and power also over the things therein. And he endued them with strength by themselves, and made them according to his image, and put the fear of man upon all flesh, and gave him dominion over beasts and fowls. Genesis 1 and 26. And the power said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. All right. So cattle, so wild animals, and man, which at this point man was a fucking wild animal. Without wisdom, look what happened to Nebuchadnezzar. Without that wisdom, he became back to what? A fucking wild animal. That's what separates us. We got wisdom and dominion. That's the image. So cattle and man was made in the water with the other creatures, and then brought to land, separated. And the sixth day the Lord gave the command that we were produced on land, and gave the order that we would be over these things, man, and gave us wisdom, and put us above the animals. Back in Sirach 17 and 5, verse 4 again, and put the fear of man upon all flesh, and gave him dominion over beasts and fowls. They received the use of the five operations of the Lord. And in the sixth place he imparted them understanding, and in the seventh speech, an interpreter of the cogitations thereof. Cogitations mean thoughts. All right? So we have speech. We can actually communicate, like literally express what we mean. And in the seventh speech, an interpreter of the cogitations. Counsel and a tongue, like a dog will bark at you, whether he happy or if he want to attack you, he's going to bark. Bark is a bark. All right? It's going to sound loud. Either way. My dog bark at me at excitement when they see me. They be charged up. And he bark when he hears somebody outside the crib. He ready to tear him up. You would just listen, you ain't gonna know the difference. Counsel and a tongue and eyes, ears and a heart gave he them to understand. Withal he filled them with the knowledge of understanding, and showed them good and evil. All right, so that's us having that image of the Most High. You know, we even say we understand good and evil. All right. 27. So the powers created man his own image. In the image of the powers created he him. Male and female created he them. Male and females made the same day. All right. Male and female created he them. When we read the second chapter of Genesis 2, that's going to the 8th day. That's going into the Lord choosing Adam, that seed, that specific line, to be the chosen line. All right? That's not going backwards and talking about right here. No. All right. 28. And the powers blessed them even when Eve been made. It wasn't literally from a rib. That was a vision Adam had. She was akin to Adam. It could have been his cousin. Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh represents being kin. And cousins is lawful, for the record. And the power, most Jake's first interaction with the opposite sex with a cousin, man. That's natural. And the powers blessed them, and the powers said to them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it. And have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And the power said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which the fruit, Salaki, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it should be for meat. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat, and it was so. And the power saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. So it is edifying. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Kakadash. No honor to the apostle as great millstone, and South was doing this thing in sincerity, truth, and with charity. Shalom, my Bible ball.